So let me use this code, and I will create the another JavaScript. And so let me create the JavaScript library now. So let me close this, and in the status functions I'm going to add the another library here. So let me name it as a student underscore the, since it will be for the ribbon, so ribbon.js. Okay, add it, and let me copy this code here, copy code, and we'll paste here. Okay, done. So but when you write any JavaScript library, we have to follow the some standard. So like if you put this this piece of code inside this some do something function, something inside this function, if you put this piece of code what we have copied now, this one into this function, and you can call this function onto the ribbon button, or if you have any event you can call that. So still it will work, but in the practical, I mean, in the real-time project, you will be using some standard while writing the JavaScript. So you will be using some proper namespace for that. So let me show you that with the proper namespace. So for this demo, I'm taking this namespace as below. So like if we are checking my company name like .NET little boy. If equals to undefined, I'm checking if my namespace, the root namespace, if that is .NET little boy, if it is undefined, then I'm going to declare this one. So .NET little boy equals to the new object, and inside this object let me take one field here that is called the say namespace, and that is equals to true. So I have created this one. Now this is my another, means you can say this is the company name, and after that I'm checking the another, I'm going to deep of this namespace while defining that. So it is if this object dot since I'm going to create this this library for the entity student, so I can give the entity name here, the student equals to undefined, then I'm going to set this to. So .NET little boy dot student equals to the object and same namespace to true. You can set this one. Okay, likewise I'll take the another variable here for this namespace. So dot student dot, since I'm going to register this library for the ribbon, so let me define the ribbon for that. So ribbon equals to undefined, then I will set that to. So dot student dot ribbon equals to object, and let's set the namespace to true. Okay, so it is done. So now finally this is my namespace here, and on the top of this namespace let me wrap the another function here. So dot little boy the student dot the ribbon dot the all the ribbons will have the command functions, right? So I'll wrap that. So command equals to the, so I will be using the immediate invoking function. So here like this we can use, that is the immediate invoking function. So function, and here, so this is called the immediate invoking function here like this. If you define, so whatever the piece of code we'll write inside this, it is present inside this namespace. Okay, and we will use this namespace for for writing, for defining any functions inside that. So since we have wrapped all the things here, so we have to return all the functions which we want to return from this immediate invoking function. So let me write the return statement, and here we will returning only those functions which are required to be available from this library. So let me build this function here first. So I will use var, and it is since create a student. Okay, and that is equals to the function, and here we will be writing our logic, and these functions we can return here in the statement, because this function we have to register on the ribbon button, right? The ribbon button which will create here on the student form here, student home screen here. So there we have to register. So this function I have to return from this JavaScript. So that is why I will return this function here. So it is, and here. So if you have more functions to return, you can give the comma, and then you can write those functions here. Okay, so you can keep the same name both, but I will take this as a capital C. So this is create a student. Okay, and inside that I will be writing my logic. So usually this is my logic of the code. So I'll copy this and I'll put here. Okay, so done. So but thing is, you can see these some values are constant I have taken because this is just the demo I want to show you. But in the real time, you will be taking some variable here, and you will be fetching the data from the different entity, or you will have the different service call. You will be using that to set up this value. So in this, for the demo purpose, I have taken this parameter as a constant. So let me make this as a first name as a some variable type. So what I'll do, I'll take the prompt which will ask the first name of the student which you want to define, and say take var say first name, that is equals to the window dot prompt, and that is enter the student first name. Okay, and here it will ask. So when this function will be called, it will ask first the student first name, and that this first name we will set to the first name variable here. Okay, and let me keep the other parameter as it is, like the course ID, because this is the same course I want to select. So like the course, here it is. So inside the course details, so this is the course I want to select when I will create the new record of the student by using the button. And the another is country. So I want to set the same country, that is the country code of India here. So if you go here, this is the country code which we have set up here, right? Inside the REST builder, you can see here inside the REST builder we have set up. So I'm keeping the same value here. So let me keep this same, and here once the request has been successfully sent, then we have a status 200. Let me check one more thing here. If successfully it has created, then let me alert that. So we can use the xlm.utility. However, if you want, you can use the alert also. So xlm.utility.alert dialog, and here we can say the student has been created. Okay, fine, done. So now it is done. So to call this function, how we'll use? So we will use this namespace. So let me copy this, and I will comment here. So this is the name. Along with that, since all the functions which we have written here from here to till there, it is wrapped here, right, inside that. But inside this encapsulated, and we can see the wrapped function. I'm returning this function, right, for this one. So after that, I have to call this here. So command dot this one. So finally, when the namespace is like that, then it is going into this function here, and then it's calling this function, and whatever the piece of logic we have written here, it will be executed. So this is my name of the function. Finally, like that, I have developed. So I have to register this function onto the now into the Dynamics. So what I'll do, I'll go to the Dynamics customizations here. So already I have opened this solution here, and let me add the resource here. So I'll go to the web resource here, and I will add the new web resource here, and let me give the name as a script / the student ribbon. Okay, and the same name I can give for the display name, and it will be JavaScript and English, and the text editor will write this piece of code. Okay, here. Okay, done. So let me save this. And publish. Okay, it has been published. So now this library and the function I can use for the ribbon button. So now let's go to the development of the ribbon button customization. So as I mentioned, we can use the ribbon workbench, and we can use the XLM toolbox. So this XLM toolbox, when you open, you have to connect your instance. So since already I have connected to my this one sandbox instance here, already I have connected here. So you can use this connect button to connect that one, and you can use the new connection over here, and you can connect the SDK login control, and you open the SDK login control here, and If it is your on-premise, you can give the credentials. If it is online, then you can select this Office 365, then show advanced. And if you don't know where your online Dynamics resides, you can select don't know. If you know a specific region where it is located, you can select that one. So if you don't know, then select don't know, and then you can give the username, password, and login. Once you'll give the credentials, it will ask you to enter the, if you have set up the two-factor authentication, like if it is sending some pin code in your mobile or in the call, you can pass that one, and then finally you can connect that one. Once you have connected, so it will show you the connections available here. So it is connected to instance. So once you're connected in the XM toolbox, you can have a lot of tools here. So if you go to the configurations and tools tool library here, you can see we have a bunch of solutions available here which you can use to leverage the working with the Dynamics. So here most populars are like, you will use the plugin TraceLogs. You will be using this one, plugin test viewers you will be using. Then you will be using the ribbon button customizations, ribbon workbench. Okay, then you will be using fetch XML builder. So yeah, so this so you will be using that one. So you can use a lot of solutions which are present here, and you can leverage that one. So make sure in the toolbox you have installed the ribbon workbench. So it will take just few seconds to install that. You can select and you can install that. So since already I have installed here, so it is present for me. So once you log in here, it will show the recent tools which you have used. So recently I have used this one, so it is displaying here. Otherwise you can go to your tools and you can search the ribbon button here once you have installed. So once you click that one, so it will ask you to connect that one. So it will connect, and it will ask the same package. So like it will ask the same things to connect that, and it will ask you to select the solution which you want to open. So here is a little bit tricky. So what we will do here is you can see since we are going to develop the button only for this entity, student here, and for this entity, student entity, but only for the main form, like that. So once you select the here in the solution, if you select the solution which is having a lot of components, like more than 4, 5 or 6 or like 10, 20 entities, and if it has a lot of things, then this ribbon workbench will fail to load that. To avoid this, what you can do is, you can go to the solution and you can create the one solution, and here I have created this solution here. So you can create some solution like that, and inside the solution you can add only that components which you want to edit, which you want to create the ribbon button for that. So since I'm going to create the ribbon button for the student entity, so I have selected only that entity, you can see here, and also I have selected that form where I want to edit, so that inside the solutions you will have the minimum package, minimum components, and it can easily load over here. If you select the solution which is having a lot of components, then the ribbon workbench will sometimes it will fail to load that. That is why recommended create the separate solution, add only those components which you want to edit and which is required minimum to be available for the ribbon workbench, and you can add that one. And please do not include the required components. Just when you add this existing component over here inside the entity, it will ask the required component over here, right? So like suppose I'm going to add the entity here, okay, and so say I want to add this account form, and when you click the finish, one page will come where it will ask the required component. So don't select this one, select the particular, do not include the required component, because we don't want unnecessary components to be added into this solution, so that the solution size will be more and you cannot load that. That is why select the do not include the required component, and like that you add the entity which you want to develop, which you want to edit here. So I have selected this. So this is my solution already I have built, and already I have added only the student entity and only the main form I have added here. If you go to the form, so only the main form I have added here. so which I want to edit. So that is why I will select the solution, that is student and then the ribbon. So here once I have selected, so this is my solution. So once you select, it will take a couple of minutes to load these solutions. So once the solution is loaded, it will look like this. So this is my solution which is loaded, and you can see all the buttons which are present, all the ribbon buttons which are present for this entity, it will displayed here. So here what I am going to do is, on this home screen I am going to add the button. So if you see this solution, this ribbon workbench solution, so you can see we have home grid, we have subgrid, and we have the form grid. So the buttons which are present for the dynamics any entity, it will be three places, right? This is the, when you click on entity, the one page is landing, right? One view is landing, that is called the home screen. When you open any entity, and then one form will be loaded here, right? This is called the form, so form grid. So for this form, if you want to add any buttons here, any ribbon buttons, so that in that case you can use this home grid here. And if you want to add for any subgrid like when we have relationship between another entity and you are displaying into the some subgrid, and for the subgrid if you want to add any button like this, create a new student here, and like other buttons, if you want to add for any subgrid, you can use this subgrid here. So in my case, you can see as per requirement, I have to add on the home screen. So I will be using this section to add the new button. So in this section, I will be adding the new button after the new. So you can go to the button here and let me add the button. I have to drag here. So after the new, I have drag here, and you can see as soon as you add, so these things will be highlighted, and along with that, in the control properties control, you will see some properties we have to fill here. So first of all, let me change the button name here, button display name. So that is it is create student, okay, and the same thing you can copy for it. So here, and the tooltip like create a student with constant value, otherwise we can say the hardcode value. Okay, and then same thing you can copy for description. And image, you can see for each buttons there will be image associated, right? So if you want to, if you have already some developed image in the PNG or in a format, you can add here. Let me add the same image which is used inside this new button. So I'll click on this new, and I will copy this image here for this my new button which I'm going to add now. So same image I will copy here, and for the 32 types, so this indicate the pixel size. So image will be two types, 16 by 16 pixel and 32 by 32 pixel. So I have added that one. So you can see the button, this my button is having now plus symbol associated with that. Along with that, you can take the modern image if you want new. Then here the sequence automatically will be generated, and if you have any command value, you can give that. However, if you see here, this is the command which will be developing now, and this command you can create with the JavaScript or how you want. So inside the left side, you will see the actions which will perform and the entity which is selected. Since this solution, inside the solutions I have only one entity, that is why by default it is selected. But in the suppose if you have selected a solution which is having more than one entity, then you have to change the entity, and then you have to select the view. You have to change the view here, and then you can add the buttons. So here inside for this button, you can see so I have certain commands here which I can add here, commands, then the display rules and the enable rules. So what will happen, you can see when I'm selecting this record, then certain buttons are appearing here, right? So these are having the display rules for that, and if you want to enable disable on the some conditions, you can write those conditions over here, enable disable, and display rules you can write here. So in my case, for this entity I do not want this one, so let me remove this, and I do not want the enable disable rules. Only I want is just simple the command which will be executed on the click of this but this button which I'll add now. Okay, on this click of this button. So here you can see when you add the command, so it will come here, and it is the command name ID will be coming here, and then here you have to add the actions. You can, once you click this action, you can see we have two types of action. One is URI and other is JavaScript. So you can add the JavaScript as just now I'm going to add. Let me show you with the URI what will happen. So sometimes on the click of some particular button, you want to navigate to the different page, and for that page you will be pushing some parameter, some body parameter, right? So you can put that URL here, and you can pass the body parameter how you want. So if you want to open to the new window and you want to set some value for that page, then you can do this URI action. But with the JavaScript here, you can see when you select this one, it is expecting the library and then the function name. That is why before I register my library here, this library I have registered here. If you go to my solution here, that is why this student ribbon I have, this library I have registered. Student ribbon. That is why this library I have registered first, and then inside this library I have this function which I will be calling now. So let me search this library here. So it is DNLB underscore script. Let's check. Okay, so it is coming, a student ribbon, and now inside this library, this is my function which I have to call here, right? So let me copy this and paste inside the function name. Okay, so done. So we have added. However, if this function, it is expecting some parameter here, if it is expecting some parameter like form context or any some input parameters, then you can add those parameters over here. You can use this parameter, add parameter, to pass that any parameter. Since my function is not having any parameter to be called here, so I am not going to add any parameter over here. So once it is added, you can save this, and to save this you have to just publish the solution. So once you publish, make sure you should not have any error or warning over here. So let me publish this. Let's check if we have any error or warning.